is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to you out a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirts, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade basketball analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a video. We're going to talk about the All NBA teams. Now, as you guys know, I turned in my All NBA teams last month. And I'm going to talk about the players that made it, who got snubbed, and obviously the difference between what I picked and what they picked. I'm about to run down the list for people that don't know or people just curious. Giannis is the forward. James Harden is the guard. Steph Curry is the second guard. Paul George is the third forward, or the second forward. And Nikola Jokic is the center. For All NBA second team, Joel Embiid is the center. Kevin Durant is the forward. Damian Lillard and Kyrie are the guards. And Kawhi Leonard made second team for the forward, the second forward. And for the third team, we had Russell, Blake, LeBron, Rudy Gobert, and Kemba Walker. Now, the first thing that I had that they didn't have, I had Bradley Beal or Kemba Walker being on that All-NBA third team for the guards. Now, obviously, I picked Russell Westbrook over Bradley Beal just like they did. But I picked Bradley Beal over Kemba. Kemba did win more games, and he did have a higher ceiling because he got off to a magnificent start. And he was the only real reason why they was going to have a chance of making the playoffs. He really had his career best season. He was an all-star starter, for God's sakes. The guy went out there and played with a lot of heart, a lot of fight. And he really gave his all to this team. I really thought it was a difficult decision. I thought that Bradley Beal was the better player. He had damn near better numbers. But even though Kemba did win more, I feel like Bradley Beal was the better player and put up the better numbers. That's personally why I picked Bradley Beal over Kemba Walker. Not only that, I had Russell Westbrook already on my third team. He averaged another triple-double, but his free throw percentage went down. His three-point percentage went down. He still turned the ball over a lot, but he was still able to give you a 20-point triple-double, and he was still one of the better players in the league, especially at that guard spot. I really couldn't think of another point guard or another guard that had a better season than Russell Westbrook. It wasn't his best season of his career, but it was definitely one of the best seasons this year, so that's why I voted him for third team. Blake Griffin, I feel like I couldn't really find a legitimate forward outside of LeBron James to make this list more than Blake Griffin. He had one of his best years, stay healthy majority of the year. He helped the Pistons get into the playoffs this season, which a lot of people didn't even have them making it. Some people did, some people didn't. I personally had the Pistons making the 8th seed, and that's what they ended up getting, and mainly because of Blake Griffin being able to stretch out the floor, handle the ball, be a point forward, while also being able to get to the rim and his improved three-point shot. He gave it his all. He went out there and fought. He never quit. He never gave up, and he just gave them a sense of hope. And they was able to get knocked out of the playoffs and be able to fight back to get in there. And that just shows you how special that Detroit team was for a team that only made it to the playoffs once in the last couple of years. They was able to get there for a second time with Blake Griffin. And that kind of makes sense of why they made the trade. They struggled making it to the playoffs with Tobias Harris, even though they did once. But Blake Griffin was able to give them a higher ceiling. They still need to change up this roster a little bit more if they want to be more competitive. But they work with what they got, and they got a good coach in Dwayne Casey, and they got the best out of Blake Griffin. LeBron James just didn't have the same year. He missed a lot of games. He didn't have the defensive end. He just wasn't the same LeBron. He was still a great LeBron, still one of the top 10 players in the world, but he wasn't that elite, do everything and just destroy you LeBron. He really struggled. Remember, just because the Lakers didn't make the playoffs, they was in the playoff race when LeBron James came back. and they never really made a legitimate push at the playoffs, even when he came back. I know everybody say they was a top 4 team in the Western Conference when he was healthy, but he did come back before they was completely eliminated, and they still didn't legitimately. I mean, they really didn't make a legitimate run with LeBron. Usually, it's a lock. It's LeBron. He's on that team. They're making the playoffs. Well, he played good enough for them to get a top 4 seed, and when he came back, they had enough games to make a playoff push, and it never really came to fruition. It just shows you that LeBron has diminished defensively significantly, and his offense is getting a little tired. His free throw percentage was terrible this year. He got a lot of turnovers, and even though he did shoot efficiently and shoot decent from three, we're going to see if LeBron can get some more time off like he did this year of not making the playoffs and get that body healthy and just come in with a new roster, a new team, and a new attitude. He needed the rest. He needed a break, and I think that help him come back stronger next year. And that'd be good for the NBA. Rudy Gobert, I had him as my third team center too. I feel like he's the best defensive player in the league for the interior, and his ability to give you more points and more rebounds and still protect the rim and be an anchor. I don't see why he would be third. I mean, not on this list at all. I know you can say a lot of other centers deserved it, like Anthony Davis or Karl Anthony Towns, but I don't think they. I mean, I think you can go anywhere. I picked AD. He was better than all of the centers this year, but he missed a lot of games and he didn't play that well down the stretch. While Rudy Gobert was pretty consistent this whole season, and Towns is just a defensive liability. Plus, his team didn't really win anything, unlike Utah. And obviously, AD they didn't make it to the playoffs either. Plus, he missed more games than Gobert. Other than that, the second team, I had Joel Embiid on my second team. I had Kevin Durant on my first team, and I had Paul George on my second team. That's the only thing we disagreed on because I had Damian Lillard on my second team. I had Kawhi Leonard on my second team, and I had Kyrie Irving on my second team. The reason why I had Kevin Durant on my first team, I feel like he had a more consistent year than Paul George. I feel like Paul George got hot and he played a lot better for about 2 months, and then he went back to Paul George, the inefficient chucking Paul George. His defense was significantly better than KD, but I feel like Kevin Durant had the most consistent, steady season this whole year, and that's just my personal opinion. When you look at the numbers and you look at the fact that KD numbers was around the same the whole year, no drop off, or he really didn't have this burst to the top like Paul George had, but he was steady all year. That's my main reason why I had Kevin Durant on the first team. Paul George was okay he was good in the beginning. Then he was great. Then he went back to being good. And maybe that was enough to get first team, but that's the reason why I gave him second team, in my personal opinion. Joel Embiid, he missed a lot of games, but you can't deny the impact that he has on the court, on both sides of the court, being an excellent rim protector, being a great teammate, being a great help defender, and making people get scared and get frightened going to the paint. Plus, he still averaged 20 and 10, over 20, 27 and 10, and that's very impressive. That's one of the best players in the league. Even though I'm not the biggest Joel Embiid fan, I still have to give him credit. He was the second best center. He probably would have been first if it wasn't for the injuries. And then Damian Lillard and Kyrie, they was the second best guards in the NBA. I don't really think there's no argument or no debate about that. Kyrie was more efficient than Dame, but Dame had more success in the regular season, finishing third. So you have to give him his credit for carrying a team. You have to give credit to Kyrie for being able to carry a team to the, well, not carry, but have a good team and be able to be the best player on that team and still make it to the playoffs while also staying and remaining efficient, even though he could have dropped his efficiency and stayed high. And Kawhi Leonard, the main reason he has been one of the best two-way players in the league, just like Joel Embiid, but he had one of the best seasons. He was warranted the All-NBA first-team spot. It's just the fact that he didn't play that many games and he didn't play the back-to-backs that hurt him. I think he definitely had an All-NBA first-team season. The only problem is he didn't play enough games for me to give him that spot over Giannis, who is the MVP, and Paul George or KD, who had more consistent years and played more games than Kawhi Leonard. And then obviously the first team, I feel like Jokic was the best center this year outside of Anthony Davis in the beginning, but the most consistent center was Jokic. Actually, his numbers went up as the season went on, and his numbers went up even more in the playoffs. It shows you how he's improving, how he's more aggressive, and how he feels that he is one of the best offensive players in this league. And you do have to give Jokic his credit on that. And he shot 50% from the field, gave you 10 rebounds and 20 points. You can't really, and 7 assists. You can't really argue that he's not one of the best players in the world. That's how good Jokic has been. Plus, Denver finished second in the Western Conference and stayed in the top 2 spots in the entire season. So it shows you that he contributed to making his teammates better, and he contributed to winning, because you can't really win more than that by just getting the #1 spot, and they barely missed that by a couple games. Not even a significant miss. Then you look at Steph Curry. He was the best point guard, giving you some crazy scoring numbers, some crazy efficiency numbers. Plus, his team was the #1 team in the West. You look at Paul George, like I already talked about, he deserved to make first or second team. Obviously, James Harden probably had the best season offensively than anybody in the entire NBA, giving you the most points since Jordan, and Kobe and Allen Iverson and Tracy McGrady, but outscoring all of them besides Jordan, and Elgin Baylor. So it shows you how historic and how difficult it was for him to do what he done. And the fact that they had a legitimate chance of finishing second by the end of the season shows you how dominant and how much they needed him to be competitive, to win these games, especially off the fight in the beginning, then some injuries throughout the season. And for them to have a chance to finish second in the West was powerful, and it shows you how much of a game changer James Harden is, and his ability to score, but also pass, but also make his teammate take a lot of attention away from his teammates, because he draws so much attention, makes him a tough cover. Because if you don't play him right, he's gonna torch you by making his teammates get easy shots, or he's just gonna take over the game and dominate. Plus, he had a lot of 30-point games. Plus, he had a lot of 50 and 60-point games, and he had a lot of triple-double games. So he had one of the best seasons in NBA history. Even though he won't win MVP, it does sound crazy, but at least he get the All NBA first team for another season, and that's just going to help lock up Hall of Fame status for him. Giannis, his first time making All NBA first team. I think he deserved it. He came out and set an example for the Bucks in the first couple months, and he was able to do that and carry them to the #1 team in the entire NBA. And he looked amazing, trusting his teammates, believing in his teammates, trusting the schemes and the offensive system of Mike Budenholzer, and going out there and executing it while still playing true to himself and true to his game, and going out there averaging a career high in points, dominating on the boards, being a great help and team defender, and a great guy that can switch and guard multiple positions. He did whatever he had to do offensively or defensively for this team to win, and you have to give him love, credit, and respect for doing that. And he did deserve this first team over LeBron, over KD, over Kawhi Leonard, because he was able to stay healthy. He was able to get the #1 seed, but he was also able to play his best basketball and put some numbers similar up to the other guys he was competing against. Plus, he played more games than them, and he showed that he can shoot 50% too from the field. He's still not a great shooter, but he still showed you he can still be dominant and impact winning, and you have to give him credit for that. So let me know, did somebody get snubbed? Was it Bradley Beal? Was it Miles Turner? Was it Anthony Davis? Was it Klay Thompson? Was it Draymond Green? Was it somebody that LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan? Whoever you feel got snubbed that should have made this list, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook. Thanks for everybody that likes the video. Thanks for everybody that continue to comment. I like the activity. Also, thanks for everybody that supports and buys the merchandise. I really love and appreciate that, and I don't take that for granted. That's why I tell you guys thank you every video. Also, if you're new to the channel, check out my playlists. There you can find NBA breakdowns of legends, players, and rookies. I also do summer league coverage, draft coverage. I also do season previews. I also do discussions just like this, and I also talk about free agency, buyouts, and obviously trade deadline. So I cover everything in NBA. I try not to miss a day, and I really appreciate you guys for continuing to like, comment, subscribe, and watch my videos. And I really do love and enjoy doing this, and that's why I continue to go. If you guys enjoy watching, I can enjoy making these videos. That's why I continue to go. Thanks, guys, for the support. Thanks for the love. Check out my older video. Check out my playlists that I have available, and become part of the family and subscribe. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about the All NBA teams so far, now that they're turned in. What you agree or disagree on, let me know in the comment section below.